I'd like to welcome Mr. Rohan Sonalkar, co-founder and CEO of Native Tongue. Rohan is an experienced co-founder with a demonstrated history of working in food and beverage industries. So, hi Rohan, it's my absolute pleasure to have you at our podcast, Founders of Bharat. I'm extremely excited to host you and learn from your experience during our conversation. So,
Thank you.
Rohan, can you give me your introduction? Like, can you give a brief about yourself?
I've been into corporate for about 20 plus years. I've always thought of myself as a salesperson with a knack for creativity or vice versa. But that also means that everything happens in house, which means that for native tongue, the labels, the creatives that you see are designed by me, which I take immense pleasure on because that's my core. But I also like to speak with a lot of people. I also like to talk about my products, which makes me a salesperson. And a family man, a guitar player, a bullet rider. So that's that.
Wow, great, multi-talented person. So, Rohan, what made you start Native Tongue, and what exactly this word like Native Tongue means?
So the brand started under the name of Jam Packed, where we wanted to tell people that all our flavors are really jam packed in the jar. However, ours is not a jam company; it's a condiments company, which means that we make jams, peanut butters, mustards, dessert sauces also. And Jam Pack was taking the brand to another level. So we came up with Native Tongue, and there's a reason why we chose the name Native Tongue. What we are trying to do over here is we are trying to bring the Indian produce onto the foray. So while we go into the supermarket, we always look for. I mean, we find balsamic vinegar, we find hazelnuts, we find a lot of things that are not in India and are imported, and that is what deems as exotic for people. But are produce like Coronda, Kokum, Nagpur oranges, or Badgi chili. These are extremely nice products, but they are sometimes not even available in the local market because there's not much demand. So, Native Tongue's philosophy, vision, aim is to bring these ingredients and produce under the gourmet format. So, all the ingredients, all the flavors that we have, they have Alfonso mango, they've got Kashmiri saffron, they've got Kurgi Kachampuli vinegar, and we are trying to bring them under the gourmet format, under the gourmet limelight.
Okay, great, great. So, all these are manufactured from your end. Like, have you outsourced it or it's in-house?
In house manufacturing, all handmade.
So, how was your journey of finding your first customer? Because like it's difficult for people to like people who are using any jams or spreads, it's difficult for them to stop using that, or maybe take some other local product, right? Maybe a
Yes.
kokum or something. Yeah.
So,
So unless it is, it's difficult for them to start using that. So how was your journey of finding your first customer?
that's a good question because we, as children and even our parents, we are used to eating Kisan jams, Maggi tomato ketchups, and that's staple that's available right now, and they are good products.
Yeah.
So that is why coming up with products which are non-contemporary, which require some amount of education also. The best way to take things forward was to get the tastings done for products, to get the demonstrations done for products. And the best way to take that forward was with pop-ups and flea markets. So for us, pop-ups and flea markets worked a lot. At in some months we were doing 4, 5, 6 pop-ups per month, and it's difficult because during that time I was working at corporates also. So throughout the week I used to do my corporate job, and during the weekends I used to do pop-ups with my wife and business partner Ruchira, and we used to record all the
So
learning.
Rohan, what exactly is
Okay, so a pop-up or a flea market is you put up your stalls, you showcase your products about what you are selling, and you get the
okay?
tasting session also. As when the people will approach you, you get the tastings done, and when they are happy with the product, they buy it from over there. So it's a makeshift shop. It's a temporary shop that you put up,
Okay.
and these shops can be put up at flea markets. The lil flea that's there,
Yeah.
or the green plate that happens in Nehru Center, or even a pop up that happens in Hiranandani Estate. In the walk. So these little pop ups are available everywhere, and it's a good way to know a customer. It's a good way to demonstrate to tell your customer what you really are about, and to make that customer into a repeat user. So yeah, so these pop-ups helped a lot for us, and those customers used to get turned into repeat customers for us because we had an online presence also during that time. Even right now we have, and yeah, this is how things started for us.
Okay, okay. So for this pop-ups, like you need to pay for getting a stall at that pop, like for a stall, you need to pay to the for the event manager.
Yes, yes and no. If there are pop-ups like the Lil Flea, or if there are pop-ups like the Green Plate, or any of the pop-ups that are big in nature, you have to pay for the stall that you're putting up. However,
Okay.
if you're going to, let's say, a corporate, let's say
Hmm.
if you're going to Sony or Z, or Colors, or offices like these, you don't need to pay because the HR or the admin people over there are doing it for the employees over there.
Okay.
But what you can do is give discounts on your product, so
Right.
that those guys also are feel good about it, that there's something special that this person is doing for us. So there's yes and no with the pop-ups with regards to payments.
Okay. Great. So right now you have presence across all the e-coms or specific.
So right now we are presence in Flipkart, JioMart, Amazon, and we have our own
Okay.
website. And there are other marketplaces also, which are strategic marketplaces which host our products. But Amazon is obviously the best that's going on. They are taking keen interest in what we are doing because they are interested in the philosophy of our brand. And we are trying to make it to FBA and getting the prime ticket. And I think Amazon will be a good marketplace for.
Okay. Great, great. So, Rohan, tell me about like where did you grow up? From where did you do your schooling? What kind of education did you pursue?
So I've been born and brought up in Bombay, and
Okay.
my schooling happened in Chembur. And I'm an art student. I had gone. I mean, I got my art college done from Rachna Sansad. That's in Prabhadevi. I'm a copywriter also. In fact, the first couple of jobs were into creative field. I was a copywriter. I was an art director. I was a designer. I was with Channel V. That was, the Channel V website.
Yeah.
So I was over there. And then when I moved to Microsoft, Yahoo, Vodafone, that's when the sales journey started. And yeah, so born and brought up in Bombay. I've been a Bombay boy throughout.
Great, great. So, like doing a corporate job for 20 years and then switching to your own startup. So, what is more, according to you, what is more better, a corporate job or a business? Like, what are the challenges of both?
So pros and cons for both, right? When you're doing a corporate job, uh, you will give your 100% to it, or you will give your 150% to it. You're gonna get something that is allotted to you, and the bonus that's allotted to you. Rest of the money is going to go to the company that you're working with, right? So that
Yeah.
is for a corporate job. That is for a job, right? But if you have your own company, then if you give your 100%, 150%, the entire effort is going to come back to you because it's your own company. However, you're not going to get your pay towards the end of the month like you're doing in corporate, and that makes a
Yeah.
huge difference. Because
Yeah.
throughout of my 20 years, I had this wall behind my back that I can lean on to, that the salary is going to come by the 5th, or by the 28th, or whatever. But over
Yeah.
here, from the month's start itself, I need to figure out how the salary is going to come for the next 5 months, for the next 6 months, or 1 year. So it's a huge difference. There are a lot many challenges. The building of the brand takes a long time. But and I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and hopefully when it picks up, then it's going to be good.
Okay. Great, great. You would like to highlight any failures of your past and what made you bounce back if you have any kind of experience?
I'm still bouncing back. I'm not bounced back, but there have been a lot of mistakes that I've done. First and foremost, if you have an idea, if you've got a business growing, the first thing that you need to do is get a sound, robust CFO on board, right? Because the compliance, the finance that you have, if you've been a salesperson, you'll not be able to know everything. There has to be someone who will have to show you the way about how the finances are, and there also has to be someone who's a maker checker for you. For example, if you're setting targets for yourself for the next 3 months, 6 months, or even for 1 month, if you don't reach that target, then there has to be somebody questioning you as to why that target has not been met. So you need a team of mentors. You need a team of, let's say, even finance advisors if need be, and not do everything alone. That's one thing. Secondly, most of the marketing that you see is glamour, right? You need to find out the perfect match for marketing about your which is affiliated with your product itself. Because most of the times what happens is marketing is top notch, but the product is not good. And if that happens, it's going to crumble down. If you believe in your product, then don't spend too much on marketing. Spend on marketing on channels that will really be helpful for you. So be very careful about where you are spending money, why you are spending money. Having said that, experiments are always important. So you need to figure out, if you're investing X amount of money in this particular marketing strategy, then how much is it? How much is it getting back to you? So that's also important to know. Now you must understand that all of these are learnings. I have not implemented them. Unfortunately, only received this wisdom after failing. Right. So right now, what's happening is I'm pretty cautious about where I'm spending money, how I'm spending money, and yeah, that's how things supposed to happen.
So it's very important to have few financial metrics to be checked every
Yeah,
month. Like if I'm spending X amount on marketing, whether I'm getting that output, like whether my sales is improving in that channel from the channel where I'm doing the marketing. That's
correct.
important to know. Yeah.
Also, what
So
happens is the mistake that people do is that, let's say if an agency is coming to you and saying that I'll charge you rupees 10,000 per month, right? And you have to spend 50,000 rupees on marketing, which will give you whatever 2x, 3x, 5x returns. So you also need to figure out, you need to consider 10,000 also that you're given to the agency as the investment, and people
yeah.
don't tend to do that. So yeah, I mean, you need to understand exactly where your money is going and why it's.
So currently, are you tracking any of your financial metrics? Like what are the important metrics that you suggest people with a similar startup should track? Like
So,
when you told about
so
marketing.
the matrices that I am following or I am tracking is obviously that's going to be revenue. That's the foremost. But it is also important for you to understand what are the deals that you're making, what are the partners that you're tying up with. Where do you want your product to be seen? Which channels do you want your product to be seen, and the repeat usage of that particular partner. So if let's say I'm with a particular cafe and that cafe is retailing my product since about 2 years or even more than that, then I would like to hold on to that partner because the customers for that particular cafe is also believing in my product. So
Yeah.
these particular tie-ups are very important for you to closely follow, and then tie up with other cafes that are on a similar line. So yeah, these are the matrices. Of course, you have to take care of your top line, your bottom line, and figure
Yeah.
out where your money is going and why your money is going, how you can curb it, because a startup is always short of money, and that's how we need to function.
So, Ron, I think you started with a proprietary company and then you formed a private limited company, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong. Right?
yeah.
So, how was your journey of forming a private limited company? Because they're known for law, like many laws are there, right? So, how was your journey? Was it easy or was it difficult of forming a private limited company?
Yeah, it was difficult because it wasn't that we had too many mentors for us to guide. So let's say your proprietorship company is called as X, right? Then if possible, your private limited company should also be called as X, if it is possible, because the
Correct.
company change will mean that that particular private limited company is a new entity in any case, right?
Yeah.
So even if your brand is, let's say, native tongue, which is affiliated with proprietorship and then a private limited company, it is not looked at one brand, it is looked at two different companies. So these nuances should also be taken into consideration. Plus, with private limited, there are a lot of compliances. There are a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork that we have to do after a year is completed. There's a lot of reports that we have to give after a year is completed because of private limited company in any case. So whenever you are approaching to turn your company into a private limited company, just make sure that you have a mentor. Just make sure that you read that towards the end of the year, when a financial year gets done, what is it that you have to submit. If you are okay with all of that, then move on to a private limited.
So you say your journey was difficult from going to a private limited company.
Yes, I will not say that it was easy. It was difficult. Yeah, it's difficult even right now with all the paperwork that we are doing. You will know it.
Yeah.
So we just have to make sure that your accounts team is sound. Your accounts team knows what's happening. There's a fortnightly or a monthly meeting that's happening, so that towards the end of the year, you're not grappling for things and getting suspense resolutions done and all of that. You already have everything in place. So I've learned the hard way. So I just want to make sure that before the year gets done, I am ready with everything that needs to happen.
Yeah, that's true because
Yes.
there are a lot of compliances. Though the government is trying to minimize the compliances, but I don't see much change. There are compliances for a private limited companies to be
Yeah.
done, and it's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated. It's complicated, but as long as the business is honest, as long as the GST is paid on time, as long as you. So there are a few vendors who do not give GST because of cash heavy transaction. But at least if you know that there is a cash transaction, you got everything down on paper, then it may not be. I mean, I believe that it may not be too much of a hassle.
Yeah, that's true. But still, there are, even if the company is honest, there are certain things which might come or might not come.
Correct.
So, yeah, pros and cons are there.
Thank you for warning me, Urvi.
So, I think we move to the last part of our podcast, which is rapid fire round. Okay, so I'll ask you questions, just you have to select one on the other. Okay. So first is early bird or night?
Early bird.
Sunrises or sunset?
Sunsets.
Music or silence?
Music or music?
Because you're a guitar player, right? I
Music.
got to know. Great. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay. So if you could switch life with a cartoon character for a day, who would it be?
Cartoon character for a
Day. If you can switch a life with a cartoon
Shrek.
character.
Shrek.
Oh, okay. What's the weirdest food combination you enjoy?
Weirdest food combination that I enjoyed.
Yeah, you enjoy eating.
In what? Sorry.
So, what is the weirdest food combination that you enjoy eating? Like,
That I
I'll tell
enjoy
you one
eating.
of my. Yeah.
Oh, mutton curry with puran poli. Yeah, that's an absolute favorite at my house during holy times.
Okay. So, one piece of advice you find yourself giving more often.
Share your troubles. Don't be a Superman. You can't do everything all on yourself. Seek advice. There are people who are out there to help you. They want to help you, and just talk about your problems to your close ones so that they'll find a solution for you. And things are not that gloomy as you feel that they are. There's always music.
So, if you could leave a note to future generation, what would you say?
Start saving from the first salary itself. And you never know what comes your way. So even if you're doing your night outs, even if you're doing your vacations, that's fine, but just make sure that you save a lot. At least some component of the salary should be gone to the savings.
Okay. And the last question for listeners who are wanting to start their business in similar stream, what advice would you like to give it to them?
Start slow, start with your passion, but don't stay stuck to the product that you think will work properly because the product that you think will work may not be accepted by people around you. So listen to what people are saying about your product. Listen to what feedback they're giving. Listen to the critical feedback that they are giving, and try to be open to improve your product or even cancel your product if need be, and start from afresh. Just have an open mind with regards to product, because you are making a product for others and not for yourself.
Thank you so much, Rohan, for the wonderful advices you have given during the podcast. I really enjoyed it. Hope
I
you
feel like
enjoyed too.
I feel like a celebrity already. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.